Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
Now up next, guys, we are going to check in with a so-called red pill guru or a alpha male, the Christian nationalist influencer, Andrew Wilson, because he is going extremely viral right now after a debate clip from the podcast, the Whatever podcast, is going super viral, featuring him debating a Twitch streamer named Charlie, who is a left-wing feminist. And it got ugly, it got nasty, it got personal. And we're going to react to this clip that everybody is sharing all over TikTok and social media. And I have some thoughts that not a big fan of how he behaves himself in this clip, but I think I'll just let you listen to it. It gets personal and it gets very ugly. And for context, the woman that he is debating is a lesbian, and that is what he references in this clip. Let's listen.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think, honestly, you're too stupid to understand them.
Well, he's lovely and extremely modest. Like, what a wild way to make a point in a debate. I mean, it's just not a good style of debating, because even if you don't like the person that you're sitting across from, insulting them or demeaning them puts anybody who starts the debate or enters it sympathetic or agreeing with that side on the defensive, like you're attacking them. So even if you do feel that way about somebody, it's genuinely not a great debate tactic to attack them personally like that. And I definitely do apply that in both directions. But and then it's just not giving, it's giving very arrogant when you're like, I'm a great orator and I have all these amazing points where you're just too stupid to understand me. Even if that is all true, which doubt, it comes off as arrogant, I will say. And then we haven't gotten to the crazy part of this clip yet. We're about to.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you...
So she's bringing up his wife's past because Andrew Wilson is a part of the like red pill alpha male Christian community where he talks about women as being promiscuous and damaged and tying their worth to their sexual past and all this kind of controversial stuff. He claims to be a traditionalist, like a traditional man, and she's saying you're not. Your wife has this past. Now, I should be clear that I really don't like getting personal in debates, and I think it's often not productive, and I would not have done that if I was her and I was debating Andrew and having a conversation with him. I would have tried to stick to substantive points, but I do understand why she's doing it, because she is trying to highlight an inconsistency or hypocrisy between the way that he judges women, particularly on this podcast. He'll sit across women and tell them that they are low value because they have a high, like a messy past or a lot of previous partners or whatever. He says single moms are not desirable or all these other things, and yet that is his wife's past. And I will also say that his wife is not like just a private citizen that's being picked on for context, because that would also feel icky to me. His wife is also a political commentator who weighs in and attacks other people and criticizes them personally regularly. So that's why I'm not as bothered by her bringing this up. But Andrew was very bothered by it. Let's listen to his response.
You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did
daddies?
I just say?
With the 3
Sorry,
baby
doll. I'm
daddies?
sorry. She morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred against...
Do the women that you try
convince them
to...
that they shouldn't...
You know, Charlie, did I bring...
Women? Do they know
Charlie,
that
did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called
into
me
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about About your family being stupid, Charlie?
You could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck.
Oh boy. She kind of cooked. She kind of ate. I mean, at the very least, she hit a nerve with him, and that is obvious. And it is funny to me because he is the type that doesn't believe in women having the right to vote, for example, because women are too emotional. They can't be trusted to think logically, and yet, please never tell me women are too emotional again. Okay, when human beings are emotional, and men and women can be too emotional, and clearly that applies to men as well, because he got all in his feelings and then decided to viciously cuss at and scream at this woman and say all these vile, horrible things, which I think I understand feeling defensive if your family is being criticized, but you have put your family out there. Your wife is a political commentator who does this and is in this space. So that is fair game in a way that like bringing up someone's private family isn't really. And even if you believe that what Charlie did here was a low blow, was not cool, this is still not an acceptable way to conduct yourself or behave. For a supposedly like upstanding Christian man to speak to a woman like this, really to any person like this, is not Christ-like. It is not traditional, right? Like, what happened to the idea of turn the other cheek? Whereas you're going to start calling her all sorts of vile names and then just saying, "Oh, you're a lesbian. Oh, you're a lesbian." But that doesn't even make any point because Charlie doesn't think there's anything wrong with being a lesbian. So simply pointing that out doesn't prove anything. You're not highlighting inconsistency. There's no gotcha there. You're just whatabouting in a way that doesn't even accomplish anything or highlight anything meaningful because you feel like you've just been exposed. And it is interesting because he says, and I watched some more of the clip as well, there's nothing wrong with his wife's past. And listen, personally, I have no issue with his wife's past. I do think there's hypocrisy. The fact that she's been married multiple times, has kids out of wedlock, anything like that, to me, I don't judge. Life is messy, life is complicated. But it is inconsistent with the things that he says are right and wrong, and that he's very judgmental about others for. So that is, I think, a meaningful point. But it's interesting because he says that there's nothing wrong with anything his wife's done, or what him and his family have done. Then why are you so defensive? Like, it's incredibly amazing how defensive he gets here. I would just calmly explain, listen, I love my wife and I don't think she's done anything wrong, and I'd rather stick to the substance, but if you want to make it personal, talk about it, I guess we can do that, right? But to then crash out on this woman, nothing about this is masculine or traditional or in keeping with Christian values. I mean, ask yourself this. This is an interesting comment that I saw somebody make. Would Charlie Kirk ever have behaved like this? No, absolutely not. And I listen, I disagreed with him on lots of things, but you would never, even if a person, and this happened many times in his debate tours and all that, a person was very rude to him, very personal, very hostile, and he responded with cool, calm, disarming levels of turn the other cheek. Or even if he did get into it with them, he would never scream at them or berate them or speak to a young woman like this, because it is not traditional. It is not Christ-like or anything. It is deeply hypocritical and vile. And I don't agree with bringing up his wife. I don't support that approach to debate, but you know what? There's a valid reason she did so. And then his response says everything. Really. Now, here's a follow-up video from her she posted as this clip was going viral. Let's listen.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Hi, so that's me in the video. I am the snizzlicker, the snizzler, if you will. This video is making the rounds again on Instagram and Twitter, so I just wanted to clarify a few things. I don't take any issue with Andrew Wilson's wife having 3 baby daddies and having been married multiple times before. I don't think it's immoral. I'm a feminist. What I do take issue with is the fact that Andrew Wilson built his platform off of shaming and humiliating women for their past sexual conduct. If Andrew Wilson met a woman like his wife with 3 baby daddies on the Whatever podcast, he would shame her, call her a hoe, and tell her she's damaged goods and essentially unlovable, like he's done to many women before in the past. What I want people to take away from this clip is not that Andrew Wilson is a cuck or that Rachel Wilson is a hoe. I want people to understand that they are hypocrites, and that if you're going to marry a woman with the past, then you should give other women the same grace that you give your wife. Let he who is without sin be the first to throw a stone. Or whatever Jesus said. I don't know. I'm not the staunch Christian Andrew Wilson claims himself to be.
Look, I don't think she's perfect either. I wouldn't have gone there myself, but I certainly think she's raised some real points here and landed some serious blows and kind of intentionally or not so intentionally exposed the problem that I have with a lot of this red pill discourse and these viral debaters and all these things. They're just toxic people in many cases, and they are behaving themselves in ways that I think are reprehensible. They are engaging in this for clicks and for the most outrageous response imaginable, not to actually foster meaningful discourse or to like help kind of bridge the gender divide or any of these real issues that I think are raised. I just think the red pill, manosphere, all that area has turned into a really toxic category of discourse. And I can see why some of the feminist types are fighting back in this aggressive manner. And it certainly does make for an embarrassing moment for Andrew Wilson and not the greatest advertisement for the quality of discourse over there on the Whatever podcast, which I will say, as much of a shit show as it clearly is, I do tune into clips from time to time because it is entertaining to say the least. But you guys will have to let me know what you think of all that madness that we just watched and unpacked in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and all of that.